My Borrowed Son. Chapter 9. ABCs and Wearable Things. If Amanda was being honest, this wasn't the craziest thing she had done. Threading a needle to make her adopted 2-inch tall child clothes definitely wasn't the craziest thing she had done. She bit her lower lip in concentration as the thread slipped through the needle's eye. Amanda thought gluing the fabric might be easier, but her trials proved less fruitful than she wanted. The edges tore away too easily and absorbed into the fabric if she didn't coat a certain amount. And at that point, she might as well glue the whole thing together. So, Amanda thought, knew he was worth it. He couldn't wear togas forever. After hours of scouring the internet, Amanda could find nothing easily accessible to buy to clothe Parker. She had found someone on Etsy who would make custom doll clothes for any size, but even he was surprised when Amanda asked for a 1-inch shirt and 1-inch pants. In all reality, this was easier than trying to explain to a stranger the dimensions she needed for Parker's clothes. Hours of work produced a dozen shirts and about the same amount of pants, which Amanda had stitched together. She found folding the cloth and cutting the pattern was the easiest. Making things a little bigger not only helped make the clothes, but it also made Parker look that much cuter. It also gave her safety pin harness more room when he wanted to explore. Ever since the park incident, Amanda tried keeping Parker safety pinned when he was just out and about without her watching. It wasn't all of the time, but it was just when they were outside or if Amanda had to step away from the couch or the kitchen counter. He was becoming more adventurous by the day, and Amanda already had a few close calls with him nearly falling off of extremely tall heights that might injure him. It felt like those parents who put the monkey backpack leash on their kids, which made Amanda feel absolutely sick. But she had few other choices if she wanted to step away and not leave him in his box or unsupervised. She didn't use it frequently, but she did use it for safety when she couldn't always have her eyes on her adopted son. After all, what kind of life would it be if he had to stay in his box for the rest of his life? His box, at least, was something Amanda was quite proud of now. Parker's room, as Amanda was now referring it, had push lights Parker could control, as well as a proper bed, comforter, and pillow Amanda sewed. No more washcloth beds for the tiny boy. There was even an old matchbox she used as a bed frame, and she started folding paper clips to hold his clothes up on the string she put in there. Parker had a bell to signal when he wanted something until Amanda installed a baby monitor so she could hear him. Amanda was enjoying setting up Parker's room. She even gave him a chance to pick out his own trim, which was just colorful duct tape, and the colors of his walls, which he wanted to be a light blue with cloud-themed tape. It was precious, and reminded Amanda of Andy's room from Toy Story. A few toys, and even a soft crochet blanket and rug later, made Parker's room actually feel like the room of a little boy. 7 months, and he finally had a proper room. 7 months, and he finally had a relatively decent wardrobe with a change of clothes. Amanda let her hands rest in her lap as she glanced over into Parker's box. He was playing with some miniature Tinker toys Amanda had found online, and he was loving them. Amanda chuckled as she watched him play, amused by his nearly imperceptible babblings. Had time really gone so fast? She gazed down at him and noticed how long his hair had gotten, and how he just seemed a little bit taller when he stood. His mind absorbed all of the information she gave him, and still he wanted more, which she happily provided. He was growing up so fast, and everything felt normal, despite their differences in size. Amanda felt as though there were no true difference between her and Parker. 7 months had taught her that much. Amanda decided, after another 20 or so minutes, that she should get lunch started. Rather than just pick up Parker in his room and bring him with her, she decided to ask and offer him a choice. He was old enough to make choices after all. "Parker, I'm sorry to interrupt, but are you ready for lunch?" asked Amanda. Parker turned his soft brown eyes toward Amanda and nodded eagerly, the Tinker Toys in his hands, as he continued to put the pieces together.
"Yes, Mama,"
he said as he finished fitting the pieces together, and then standing up expectantly, raising his hands for her to pick him up.
"Up?"
It made Amanda's heart melt. "You want to come with me?" she asked. Parker nodded and grabbed with his fingers. "Use your words."
Yes, Mama. Could I go with you to, make lunch?"
Parker's adorable little ums, as he pieced the words together quickly into fully coherent sentences, was absolutely astounding. He was learning so fast every single day. She wanted to pat herself on the back for guiding him to use manners and proper words, but that wasn't what parenting was about. It was about teaching Parker to be a polite young man. He was her son after all. "Yes, you may," said Amanda as she lowered her hand into his room and he stepped on, grabbing one of his toys before he did. The two of them went to the kitchen where Amanda placed Parker on the counter next to the bread box. He knew where he was and was not supposed to go, but Amanda insisted on strapping the safety pin harness to the back of his shirt and pants.
Mom? Mama? Why do I need to wear this?"
asked Parker. It was a question he had asked 1,000,000 times as Amanda finished attaching the safety pin. "Remember, Parker?" asked Amanda. "It's for safety. The countertop is very high, and if you fell, you would get hurt. I don't want you to get hurt." It wasn't the first time Amanda needed to explain this to Parker. He knew the reason. Still, he always seemed a little anxious when Amanda attached him to the line.
"Oh, okay,"
Parker said as he sat down and began singing the alphabet song, while Amanda crunched up some chips and made them both sandwiches. He was on his 3rd time through when his little voice piped up.
"Mama, could we play the alphabet game?"
The alphabet game was something Amanda had seen online for young children. It was when you asked what sounds the letters made, or what letter made what sound. The game also proposed, for advanced children, what words had the letter in them. It wasn't something that Amanda didn't think a young child would be particularly interested in, and she only started integrating it to educate Parker. However, the more he learned, and the more she read to him, the more he wanted to play the game. The question made her heart swell with pride. "Of course, Parker. Are you ready?" asked Amanda.
"Yes, Mama,"
said Parker. He placed his toy on the ground and looked up at her eagerly. "Okay, what letter makes the M sound?" Amanda asked.
"M,"
replied the small child without hesitation. "Good job. What about the P sound?" asked Amanda, making it sound like a little puff of air.
"P."
"Good job, Parker. You're so smart." The two of them continued all the way through the alphabet, pausing only when Parker had trouble with some of the letters that had the same sounds, like I and E and C-K. Amanda rewarded Parker with a little piece of chocolate and a promise they would continue the game once Parker finished his food and washed his hands. True to her word, they continued playing when Parker finished his meal and insisted on washing his hands immediately. He asked when they could read and when they could play sneak and peek again. To which Amanda promised they would, while she did some chores around the house. At one point, Amanda began asking how to spell different words. They were simple, like door and cat, but he was sharp enough to sound out the letters. They sat and colored and drew out the letters for hours until dinner. It took everything in Amanda to tell him they needed to get ready for bed at the end of the night. It almost resorted in tears, but Amanda reasoned with Parker that they could keep playing during bath time and until they fell asleep, to which the toddler agreed. Never before did Amanda know a toddler who was so adamant about playing learning games. He was hungry for knowledge, and Amanda would not deny him. As Amanda laid down and drifted off to sleep with Parker learning how to spell bed, she knew what she wanted to get him. He needed some little books and pencils to write with, as well as some workbooks. It would take some ingenuity, but ideas were forming in Amanda's head. She also needed some ideas for his birthday, or rather, the day she found him. In the blink of an eye, she knew it would be upon her. The mother's last thought before she drifted off to sleep was how time was moving way too fast and that, very soon, Parker would be 5. When was his birthday? And had it really almost been a year?